Hello and welcome to this CDP Studio tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to import an external library into CDP Studio. The library we are going to import is the OpenCV core library. In order to use the library in CDP Studio, it needs to be a static library. If you are using Windows, you also need to provide a debug build as well. The debug lib files need a D as a suffix in order for CDP Studio to recognize them. If you are building for Windows, you'll have to use the MinGW32 compilers. When you have built the library, you need to place the files into the correct folders. You want to place the files into the folder that has the name of the operating system you are deploying to. You can find these folders under CDP Studio Workspace, then Deployments, then Libraries. In our case, we will use the Windows 32-bit folder. Be aware that these folders won't be generated until you have created and built a library in CDP Studio, so you might want to do that first. Inside the Windows 32-bit folder, you want to put all the static library files into lib. The static library files are those with lib as prefix and .a as an extension. The header files are going into the include folder. When the files are in the right place, we can enter CDP Studio and import the third-party library. We first create a new CDP library. When this has been created, we right-click it and select Add Library. This takes us to the Library Import wizard. As you can see, the option External Library already shows you the path to the Deployments folder, where we put OpenCV core. We select External and click Next. Now we get to pick the library file. Note that you have to repeat this for all the library files you wish to use. For the library file, we pick the libopencv core 310.a, and we set the include path to our OpenCV folder. When we click Next, we can see the configuration generated by the wizard. If something is wrong, we can edit the file directly as well. We have now successfully imported a third-party library. Now we'll go on to test the library. To do that, we will use a component with an output signal. This component will output a signal generated with the random number generator in OpenCV core. First we will create our component. Then we will make sure to include the OpenCV core header file. When this is done, we define a OpenCV RNG. Then we create the output signal. In the process null function, we set the output signal to a random value generated by the RNG. We then add our component to a system, run the system and connect to it. We can now see that our component is outputting random numbers between 0 and 1. We have successfully imported a third-party library. This was all for this tutorial. I will see you in the next video.